Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you redstone tools and their advantages. Just note, I will not be showing you all of the recipes for these redstone tools. So without further ado, let's get into it. The tools I'm going to be showing you today are as follows. The flux infused pickaxe, the axe, the shovel, the sword, the battle wrench, the Omni Wrench, the sickle, and the bow. So if we grab all of these out, there's the axe, shovel, sword, and etc. And just note before I start showing you guys, the main recipes you're going to need to make these tools are as follows. To make the flux electrum ingots, you're going to need 1 peripherum dust and 2 flux electrum blend, which will give you 2 of these ingots. To make the obsidian rod, you're going to need 2 obsidian powder plus 1 blaze powder. To make the flux infused obsidian rod, you're going to need 2 flux crystals and the obsidian rod. So therefore you're going to need to make this one to make this rod. So last little thing is, when you craft these tools, it will look like this pick here. What you're going to need to do is find a capacity bank or something and charge it up. They charge pretty quick, and all of these tools hold 160,000 RF. So now let's have a look at their advantages. We start with the pick. As you can see, as a normal mode, it just works like a normal pickaxe. Now if we press V to empower it, what's really cool about this is if you want to make a quick mine or something, you could say let's mine the middle of this obsidian, and boom, there you go, it does a 3x1 column. And the cool thing is, if you want to mine above yourself, you mine, it does a 2x1 column above you, and if we mine this one here, it does a 2x1 column below you. That's pretty cool, and it can mine obsidian, let's say quartz block as well. There you go, still 3x1. So now if we take a look at the pickaxe, as you can see in normal mode, most of these tools will work just the same as a normal pick. Now if we press V to empower it, if we climb up to the top, we stand in the center block and then mine the center block. There you go, it does a 3x3x3 cube, which I think is excellent for clearing out wood. Also, if you're standing up like this and mine this, boom, it does a 2x3x3 column. If we just pick all this up quickly. Now if we take a look, follow this path all the way to the shovel. As you can see, in a normal mode, this shovel has quite a few abilities. So say if you right click, it acts like a hoe, and of course if you mine, it just takes the block away. Now if we empower it by again pressing V, as you can see, if we right click now, it does a 1, 2, 3, 4x1 column. And now if we want to mine this out, say, it does a 1x6 on dirt, 1x6 on sand, and 1x6 on gravel, which is pretty cool. Pick all this up. And now if we have a look at the sword, if we spawn a mob in here, and you'll see what the sword can do, so I'll be back in a second. Right, okay, if we spawn this zombie in here, and if we get our sword going with him, we knock him, and then press B to empower it. Look. There you go, as you just saw briefly there, this sword, when it's empowered, it will knock your enemy back 2 meters or 2 blocks. And it has an attack damage of +9 in normal mode, and when it's empowered, it has an attack damage of +12. As a diamond sword is +7, so I reckon that's pretty good. Okay, and if we take a look at the battle wrench now, as you can see, in normal mode it works pretty much just like a Omni Wrench. So you can right click, you can change the sides of it, you can also shift left click, it picks it up just like that. We place this in that chest just for a minute. Okay, now if we empower it, and if I quickly place a mob in here, I can show you what it does, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so now if we place this mob in here, we open the door, go in with him, place a couple of them, and as you can see, if we right click, try attack them, as you can see it spins away. It varies on the level of success. So with the battle wrench, it can have the ability to spin hostile mobs away from you, but the effect verifies on how successful it is, so it won't always work. So now if we just come out of here, just like so, and I'll meet you guys back down there in a sec. Okay, and we're back. Now if we take a look at the Omni Wrench, basically it's pretty much like the battle wrench, but with the Omni Wrench you can shift right click, change the size and mode. It's basically a universal wrench. This Omni Wrench is the only one out of all the tools that only uses 200 RF per use. And if we just spawn this sheep in here, the great thing about the Omni Wrench is if you can't be bothered to make any shears, you can right click and it shears the sheep, and it has actually gave us 3 pieces of wool. How about that? Now that's pretty good. And you cannot empower this one either. So now if we move on to the sickle, with the sickle, when it is unempowered, it can make a 7x7x1 area of leaves, cactus, any type of block within that area. It's a great way of clearing out especially grass. So now if we empower this, press V, and if we jump up the top, okay, and now we're at the top. Now if we try and find the center of this thing, it is better off using these tools finding the center of the block, because then you can mine the most out. So say there, then if we left click, as you can see, there you go, it's done a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 9 by 2 area, which I think is pretty good, especially clearing out much faster than water. Who wants to use water at that speed when you can just use this sickle? And just to show you guys as well that you can use cactus and it will get rid of grass. So if we go like that, there you go. Great way of harvesting. All I can think is you guys will probably think, oh, sign me up for that, and I don't blame you. So now if we have a look at the final thing, if we head all the way down here, we quickly grab our bow and our arrows. As you can see, the bow is just basically like a normal bow, but it has an internal storage of 160,000, sorry. And if we hold right click and fire it, it just works like a normal bow. Yep. So yeah, so I hope you have learnt something, and hope you enjoyed the video. And just note, the last things I'll let you know is the pickaxe has a +5 attack damage in normal mode. When empowered, it has a +6. The axe has a +6 in normal mode, and when empowered it has a +7. The shovel has in normal mode a +4, and an attack empowered +5 when it's empowered. Battle Wrench has a +7 when it's not empowered, and when it is empowered it has a +10. The Omni Wrench doesn't have anything, and the Sickle also has a +6 when it isn't empowered, and when it is empowered it has a +7. And last thing, just note that all tools will need to be charged after crafting, and all tools have 160,000 RF internal storage. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something like I just said. Until next time, thank you.